All right, welcome to this problem. This one was asked by a student, so I thought I'd do it. Hopefully it helps out. But here we have Ethan drives 3 times the hours that Brittany does. Ethan and Brittany drive for a total of 12 hours. How long did each person drive? Well, let's just set up an equation for this one. So first off, we have Ethan. And I don't really care how many hours he drove right now. I'm just trying to set up the equation. And we have Brittany as well. Now, in terms of driving, though, if we were to add those two together, we should get a total number of hours, which they told us about. So these 3 pieces of information should help us to write an actual equation. Well, what does it say over here about Ethan? Well, Ethan is going to drive 3 times the hours that Brittany does, which means that Brittany, let's just go ahead and put a B for Brittany. And I'm going to use a capital B because my lowercase b's look like 6's. But Ethan is 3 times the hours that Brittany does. Now, you could write that as an equation itself. You could say, well, Ethan is the same as Brittany, but that would be Brittany times 3. So maybe I should fix that a little bit, right? Because it is Brittany's hours. But we would then multiply that by 3, like this. So what I'm going to do is, instead of writing Ethan out, I'm going to take this 3 times Brittany's and put that in as Ethan's hours. Because then when I add that to Brittany's actual hours, then I get a total, and the total, excuse me, the total, they said, was 12 hours. So this becomes an equation with only one variable that I can then solve. And to solve it, I would combine the b's, so this will tell me how many b's I have, and there's 3 there, and 1 there, which if I add those 2 together, I get 4 b's, and of course this still equals 12. We'll kind of clean this up so that they're fairly close together though, so it looks a little bit better. And then last up, right here, we're just going to make it 1b. So how do we make it 1b? Well, we're going to use a principle of equality here. And to do that, remember, principles of equality, just whatever you do to one side, you'll have to do to the other side. And at this point, since we're solving for b, I would divide both sides by 4 to make that coefficient a 1. That's a 1 right there. It's not canceled out, it's a 1. But it does give me the 1b. And then you can make that a phantom 1 right there, which then equals 12 divided by 4, which is 3. Now, there's a word problem, so you're going to want to definitely make sure that you label your answers. Brittany's hours that she drove is 3. Now, that's only for Brittany, right? We now need to figure out, back up here, Ethan's hours. So Ethan's hours, if we were to use the equation, is 3 times b. But now we know that the b is 3. So we're going to take that b, and we're going to replace it with a 3. I'll make this, I'll try to color code it so that we know it's not the same as that black 3 right there. Excuse me, right there. But 3 times 3 is 9. So then we can see that Ethan appears to have driven 9 hours. Now that's all fine and dandy, but the last thing we need to do is check to make sure that these 2 conditions up here, that Ethan has actually driven 3 times Brittany's hours. And then the last thing is that it's a total of 12 hours now that we figured them out, okay? So first up, this one kind of satisfies the first condition right there, okay? So we're going to check that one off, or you can check it up here. It doesn't really matter. But the second part, right? Ethan and Brittany drive for a total of 12 hours. Well, Ethan drove 9 hours. Brittany drove 3 hours, and as it turns out, when we add these 2 together, we do get the 12 total hours here, and that confirms that that one is also checked off. So they only give us the 2 conditions, but we did check to make sure that they are correct, and that the 2 values that we have here and here both coincide with the 2 conditions that they gave us. So that's all we have for this problem. And again, I hope it helps out.